Hi readers, Mrs. Hepburn here. I am so looking forward to our reading time today, our read aloud. I have something really special to share with you guys, and I can't wait to share it with you. A couple things you're going to want to have handy are you'll want a writing utensil. It can be a pen, a pencil, a marker, a crayon, anything. And then if you have your reading notebook close by, use that. Otherwise, just any kind of paper will do. So readers, what I want to share with you guys is that I learned something last night when I was watching a short film. I learned that I can use the strategies that I use to read a text, the strategies that help me understand the book that I'm reading, I can apply those strategies when I read a digital text, just like whether it's an ebook or a short film, or I'm listening to an audiobook. I can use those same strategies in that situation too, and they help me understand the story better. And so what I want to do is we're going to practice that today. Like, we're going to do that. I want to show you guys this because this was mind-blowing to me. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to look at this strategy anchor chart that we've been doing all year. So you guys probably remember when we were doing character studies and we were studying those characters, we talked about like character motives. We would read part of the book, we would think about what we're noticing about the characters, and we would kind of infer what we would think, why we thought the character did what they did. And sometimes we would reread to see if it would help us understand. And then sometimes what we would do is we would read on. Another strategy we did was we would notice how like the feelings of the characters changed, and we would think about like what caused that feeling, like what was the thing that made the character feel that way. We also would come up with ideas about characters based on evidence that we found inside the text. We can do the same thing when we're reading a digital text as well. And I'm going to show you how we can do that. Sometimes we compared and contrasted characters, and then we would even like empathize with the character and kind of feel what the character was feeling. So today what we're going to do is we're going to practice like watching a digital text, and we're going to practice applying those same strategies when we watch that digital text. All right, are you in it with me? Excellent. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and we're going to watch a short clip called Snack Attack. All right, so get ready. Think about these strategies as you're watching this too. Don't forget these strategies. You're going to want to have those at the front of your mind. Oh, readers. Oh my gosh, did you notice that? So let's kind of think about this. What do we notice that the character's feeling, and what caused the character to feel like that? And so what I'm going to do really quick is I'm pulling up my reading notebook. I'm going to create that timeline like we used to do in class. And up here, it's going to be the feeling. And then down here, I'll add the event, like what caused it. So she looks like really mad, like she's really kind of pulling her hair out, that lady does. And the thing that I think caused that is that there was only one snack in the vending machine, and now it's stuck. And she just looks, and now it's stuck. She can't get it, can she? Oh no, I wonder what's going to happen. let's go back and let's check it out. Okay, let's go. Oh, readers, let's go back to that. Let's think about like feelings change. I noticed just looking at her face, kind of the noises she's making, you can kind of tell her feelings have changed. And so I feel like here, I'm gonna put like a big happy face. This is kind of her cream. This is her hair. I'm not really an artist. I think she's feeling very proud and happy. And that's because she was able to get her cookies, her snack, able to get her snack, her cookies out of the vending machine. She had success. That was wonderful. Okay, let's see what happens. Is that what you're thinking too? I thought so. All right, let's keep going. There, how does she look there? I'm going to pause here. Okay, so a couple things are sticking out to me that I kind of want to point out. First of all, we have a new character. And so I love to just start in my notebook. You don't have to do this, but you can. Like a little comparison chart, because I feel like that helps me understand just a little bit better. So I'm going to add that to mine, and I'm going to put the woman and then the young man, okay? And then in this comparison chart, so remember on here, like we talk about what's the same and what's different. As we're watching this, I'm going to be adding to my comparing characters charts, because I like to use my timeline and this comparing characters to help me come up with ideas about the character and decide like what evidence am I seeing. And so right now, she looks to me though, when I go back to this chart, like she's getting mad, like she is shocked, like she's shocked, appalled that he took one of her cookies. He took one of her cookies. I can't even imagine that happening. Like I can't even imagine. So let's just keep these things in mind as we go through, and we'll keep working through this text. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have to add here, guys. So let's go back to this. First of all, let's think about her feelings. How is she feeling? And I'm going to go back to, she is like real mad. Like she's got a lot of things coming out of her mouth right now. She is letting him know how she feels. And it's because he keeps eating her cookies. He even, oh my gosh, this was crazy, took them off her lap. Did you notice that? Off her lap. And then was just like, he took them off her lap, and then he even just acted like it wasn't a big deal. And so even when I'm thinking about, as I'm comparing and contrasting, like comparing the two characters, I'm thinking she's kind of a rule follower. Like she expects things to be done a certain way. I don't know that she wouldn't share the cookies if he asked, but he seems to be just like really laid back. Like this is not a big deal. And so when I'm kind of thinking about them, that's something that's sticking out to me. I want you guys to just continue to be thinking about how the feelings change. Think about the characters. think about like some ideas that you're getting about the character as we go through. Let's keep going. You can see some feeling there, can't you? Oh, readers, like, look at her feelings right there. Like, look at her right there. So I'm going back to this, and she is just like, oh no, almost like desperate. That's the last cookie. Last cookie. What, I can see that going on. And then I'm thinking, she's really upset. Like, she's really upset about this. And he really doesn't seem to be bothered, not bothered at all, or understanding why she's so upset. So let's go back and see what happens. Okay, readers, like, I have to go back to this chart. Oh, don't play anymore. I have to go back to this chart because I'm like really empathizing with the character. And like, I really feel for her. I know how hard she worked for those cookies. And so I just really feel bad for her. That's really kind of what I'm feeling in my heart. And I want to think about like developing an idea, what I'm thinking about the characters and like what proof I have. So I'm going back to this. And so when I think about her, she seems to be somebody who's been a hard worker. Like, she worked really hard for that. And so maybe I want that to be an idea. So I'm going to draw that out. This is not a great idea little section here, but she seems to be somebody who's a hard worker. She is someone who is responsible. She got her stuff. She also seems to be somebody who's a rule follower and expects other people to follow rules too. And then when I look at him, this is my little idea thing. Again, not a great light bulb there, but you get it. When I think about my ideas about him, he's kind of laid back. He's really hip, kind of young guy, hip. He doesn't appear to follow the rules or really care, doesn't care. Like, he just doesn't really care. And so how I'm coming up with this evidence is I'm thinking, like, based on, she was a hard worker. She had to work really hard to get those snacks out of the vending machine. She's a rule follower. I think I'm inferring that she wanted him to ask for her if she would share the cookies. And then when I think about him, he just kind of like is laid back. He doesn't care. He's just like grabbing the cookies and eating them. He's not really understanding why she's so upset. And so these are kind of some of the ideas that I'm gaining about them. And I'm gathering that evidence from tracking it and then from adding it down here. So let's see what happens. Uh-oh, readers, thinking about this, her feelings just changed, didn't they? She's almost like in shock or like, uh-oh, uh-oh, this is gonna be what I'm doing here. She just realized the cookies weren't hers all along. Oh my gosh, the cookies weren't hers at all. And then like, we'll talk, let's just keep like viewing. I want you guys to think about like the ideas that you came up with earlier. Like I had ideas here or what I thought. And now having this evidence, if my ideas are going to be the same and if your ideas are going to be the same. Let's watch the rest of this. Oh, look at her feelings. Wow. So readers, wow, wow, wow. I didn't expect that, did you? And so I do just want to remind you guys of this chart that we have here. So just remind you of this chart for a second and think about the ideas that you had about the characters. Have your ideas changed from earlier when we just did that? I know mine did. And how I decided how my feelings have changed are, I'm going to go back to my writer's notebook, but I really think that that young man was very responsible. He was sharing his cookies. She hadn't asked if she could have a cookie. He was sharing them and trying to be really kind about that. He wasn't rude. He wasn't disrespectful. He really did. He was kind-hearted. And so the evidence that I have for that is she grabbed the cookies and she yelled at him and she was pointing her finger and shaking her fist. And not one time he didn't understand why she was so upset because he knew they were his cookies all along, but he didn't mind sharing. And so that to me is something that where my ideas have changed. I also think though, for the woman, that her idea of that young man changed as well. She realized that really he was a kind-hearted person and that he was sharing with her even though she hadn't asked for those cookies at all. And so what I want to do is just remind you guys of some of the strategies that we used in reading. We can use those now, not just with the actual text. We can use those strategies when we're listening to books, when we're viewing books on our computer, and when we're viewing digital text like short films as well. So today and every day, be the kind of reader of books, text, digital text, short films, all of those things that uses those strategies. Thank you.